Stagg!
Welcome back. This is the recap video for week number 7.
Lucky number 7.
Man, bro, this week was insane, dude. So many key topics to talk about. So little time, bro. Let's jump right into it, man. You know our favorite topic. We hate to talk about it, but it is COVID, bro. It is COVID, and it is upon us, bro. Who was affected this week? Tell me.
You know, we've never seen instant karma quite like this. If you guys heard OBJ put out, I believe it was a tweet saying, you know, COVID can't get me. COVID don't want me. I don't want COVID. It's not entering this body. Just a couple days later, OBJ is out for a season on a torn ACL.
Torn ACL.
How do you explain that?
I mean, it felt like he was almost inviting something bad. You know, first he's real confident with the COVID situation, but I just feel like the powers that be in the universe, and I'm a big OBJ fan. Don't get me wrong. He's on my fantasy team. You know, he won me a championship when he was a rookie, so I got a lot of love for OBJ. But you're just out there like sounding real arrogant about what you can and can't control, and I just feel like, you know, it came back and it bit him in the butt. And if you watch that play, he's basically tackling the guy from behind and jumping up. Like, what are you even doing? But it hurts. It pains me to see him go down. Such a dynamic player, bro.
I agree. You know, I'm not saying that it was a good thing that there was instant karma. I feel bad for him. I don't wish this upon anybody, but don't think that you're bigger than the situation going on at hand. We've all had friends and family. Me and you got a friend in our league right now that's impacted by COVID. And, you know, we wish nothing but the best for them. But anyways,
right.
On more COVID news, the entire offensive line for the Raiders out.
Oh my God.
Listen, and on top of that, their schedule got moved for a much better Sunday night game in the Seahawks and Cardinals. But anyways, Let's stick to the Raiders for now. We're going to get to that.
Yes. So the COVID outbreak starts with their star right tackle Trent Brown, okay? And Trent Brown gets COVID. He's 100% confirmed positive, and he was in a meeting room with the rest of the offensive linemen. So what they do is they don't know how the exposure went, so they send the linemen home for basically the whole week, right up until game time. We find out that only Trent Brown had COVID and none of the linemen had COVID. So what does the NFL do? Let them play.
Goodbye to the offensive line and let them play. I mean, we talked about this last week. We kind of were ahead of the curve on this with what we thought the NFL was going to do. We anticipated that the NFL was going to say, you got your third string quarterback, you got no offensive line, good luck. Bring up people from your practice squad. We're not giving any more buys. And that seems to be the general rule going forward. On top of that, instead of, you know, compared to when did it start? Like week 3 or week 4, somewhere around there where the first person got COVID. The way they handled it, they were moving people's entire games. And even the other team who wasn't impacted by COVID, and, you know, it's catching up to the NFL. They said, we can't keep doing this if we want a full season. And this is going to be the way for the rest of the season. So good luck. This impacts fantasy football a lot, as we expected. So hopefully you went out and collected some depth for your fantasy football teams. But anyways.
I mean, speaking of fantasy football, I want to talk about 2 Pro Bowl receivers that were sitting on the couch last week and all of a sudden have jobs, bro. I'm talking about Dez Bryant, Antonio Brown. I mean, one story is much bigger than the other. Let's give some credit to Dez Bryant. He got signed to the practice squad with the Baltimore Ravens. You know, who knows what's going to happen, but he got to start somewhere.
The last time I saw Dez Bryant play football was in a YouTube video like a month ago. He's playing against YouTubers, and he's like, you know what? I can get back to the NFL. And hey, you know what? Kudos to him. He's back in the NFL, even if it is on the practice squad. I can see him maybe getting back on that starting lineup. But in much bigger
time
news,
will tell.
Absolutely. In much bigger news, we have Antonio Brown. Antonio the Clown Brown is back. And I mean, I don't know what to expect. I have so much to say about, you know, where we see Antonio Brown. What's your take on him?
Yeah, first off, Antonio Brown comes out of nowhere, and the Seattle Seahawks are like, yeah, he's going to come here. Russ Wilson is saying, he can really grow up to be a man on our football team. And then you blink once, and Adam Schefter is like, no, Antonio Brown wants to go to the Buccaneers. And then you turn around, you go take a shit, you come back, and boom, he's got a contract with the Buccaneers. And you're like, what happened? What happened to Seattle? And, it's Tom Brady is what it is. And he's vouching for Antonio Brown, and they play one game in New England, and Chris Godwin gets hurt out of nowhere. I mean, is he going to be fantasy relevant, bro? I want your take on this.
A lot of people had this guy rated pretty high, and in my opinion, I don't. I mean, if you got him for free, that's great, but I would keep him on your bench until you figure out what he's actually going to contribute. If he's actually going to contribute everything. I mean, just look at his history. Aside from him being one of the best all-time best receivers of all time with the Steelers, he was not right in the brain. Is he still sane right now? What has been the latest update in his mental health? And that's more important than even fantasy football relevance at this time. They say that him and Tom Brady have some chemistry. What chemistry? One game? And they shared a place together while he was out there in New England. There's no chemistry between them like there is between him and Gronkowski. Now that's chemistry, which we'll get to that, once we get into the recap of that game. But in my opinion, Antonio Brown is a flex play at best. He may have a game where he pops off, but other than that, I don't trust starting him if I hadn't.
I agree. I mean, speaking of head and mental and head injuries, one thing we have to talk about is the scary incident that happened with Andy Dalton in the Dallas and Washington game, bro. And I mean, I kind of want to recap the game right now if you're okay with that. Dallas takes the team up to DC to play. Both teams are really struggling right now, and you're thinking, okay, Andy Dalton really struggled the last game out. He had to kind of fill in, but this was his first full week that he gets in there, bro, and give us the news. What happened with Andy Dalton, bro?
This was such a dirty hit, man. He was basically going to the ground already. It was shoulder to helmet hit, and this player had control over stopping that hit. He could have literally ran by and touched him in one hand. I understand football is a dangerous game. It's an aggressive game. We're not saying not to be assertive, but there's a difference between being aggressive and being reckless. And on a bigger scope, outside of Andy Dalton being out, is how the NFL is handling those players that are playing reckless. They say they're taking these kind of injuries serious. We've seen them take a step up compared to a few years ago, but they're not even going to give them a suspension. They ejected them for the rest of the game, and that's it, in a game that was already decided. I mean, how much of a penalty is that realistically? I mean, why are defensive players going to stop playing recklessly if this is all they're going to get?
Yeah, ejected, and then we'll see you next game. I mean, it's dirty any way you put it. You feel bad for Dallas. They're going to my cousin Vinny over here with this guy Danucci. You know what I mean? And you're looking at the only upside to this team is the production with Amari Cooper, because somehow this guy is still getting catches, man. But on the other side of the ball, the Redskins, and because we're talking about the Redskins, we have to give props to Ron Rivera, Coach Ron Rivera.
Yes, sir.
He just finished his last treatment with cancer, so I mean, we're giving the most props to him for beating it. And they got to win. They went out there. They threw the ball to Scary Terry. Antonio Gibson got on a rhythm. Kyle Allen looked decent for a chance, and basically Dallas went up to Washington to kick a field goal. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And then also, even before Dalton went out, I mean, the game was already looking, out of reach before, the high school backup quarterback came in. Robbie Anderson's brother from another mother. This kid looks like he's never touched a weight room in his life. I mean, this kid looks like he's literally coming off of a peewee. Like, I don't know what this guy's going to bring to the table. I don't think all fantasy relevance is gone for all Dallas players because, and hear me out on this one, this is a stretch, but I think someone like Amari Cooper will still have some relevance. And the reason I say that is look at what happened when Andy Dalton came in. A system that's new to him, he's stepping over to a starting quarterback role, and he looks for a safety blanket. So, but other than that, god damn, you're out of luck. And the Washington football team just owned them on defense, man. I don't know what else there is to say about this game. But final score was Washington over Dallas Cowboys, 25-3. And that's it, NFC East. That's the NFC East for you.
Oh, NFC least.
NFC least.
Hey, let's talk about this Monday Night Football game, man.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
Last game of the week, bro. We got Chicago Bears traveling to that beautiful stadium in LA to play the LA Rams. Both teams coming in hot, bro. And I mean, what were we expecting a big game from these quarterbacks? I mean,
we were expecting big games from the defenses. And yes. I can tell you one defense showed up, and that was the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, these guys came out to play. I mean, you really didn't expect for them to come out the way they did. And they showed up against the Chicago Bears, who were, a formidable team. They were coming into this game with only one loss, besides their second one that got handed to them by the Rams.
Surprisingly.
And they showed them that, this goes to show why the Bears, even though they were 4-1, why so many people count them out of potential contenders for playoffs, for the Super Bowl, for anything, because I still kind of see them as pretenders at this time. What do you think?
100%. 100% pretenders. Bro, there is like 6 5-win teams in the NFL. The Chicago Bears are the only team in negative point differential, bro. This team is a pretender. Nick Foles is a joke. Put Trubisky back in there. At least he could run around, bro. I mean, you're not going to do anything with Matt Nagy calling these plays. Bro, they had every opportunity. They had a defensive touchdown. They had drive after drive that just stall. Nick is throwing picks in the end zone, bro. This Chicago team is a pretender, and we need to give more credit to the LA Rams. I mean, and with some fantasy upside, Allen Robinson is the most targeted receiver in the NFL. Unfortunately, he's in concussion protocol after this game. But other than that, if you have any Bears player on your team, don't start him, okay? And it looks like you're going to continue to play this running back carousel with the Rams, and we don't know who's getting the ball and who the productive guy is.
And I like to give you those deep reaches for fantasy advice, and my deep reach for this game is go try to find Cam Akers. You know what? Because he had a lot of hype coming into the year, and there was a lot that happened in the beginning with this injury, and he's finally getting healthy. So you just don't know what to expect, and you can probably pick him up off of waivers, or you can get him for a penny. So it doesn't hurt.
A penny.
Stash him up, and you don't know where the LA Rams offense is going next as far as running back. So this game ends Rams over Bears 24-10. Who we got next, my friend?
Bro, the most exciting game of the weekend, with the Sunday Night Football. Bro, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling down to Phoenix, Arizona to play the Arizona Cardinals for basically to see who's going to be the top dog in the NFC West, man. And these two young quarterbacks, basically the same height. I mean, a lot of the same characteristics, bro. Put on a show. Please tell me you had Tyler Lockett in your lineup, Angel.
Look. Hold on. If you're wondering why I have this green paper over this, if you don't know about our fantasy football league, you're missing out. That's all I got to say, man. I was up 40 points this week in my fantasy football league and faced the one and only Tyler Lockett, the Hot Pocket.
Game of his life.
Killed me. And anyways, I don't want to talk about fantasy football right now in regards to my matchup. I already spent 25 minutes talking about it on another video. But what I do want to talk about is this matchup, bro. Oh my God, was this exciting. And how do you make an exciting match even more exciting? You take it into overtime. And these quarterbacks battled it out. These guys were throwing almost 400 yards each, three touchdowns each. And Kyler Murray also had a rushing touchdown for himself. But something really rare that you don't see often from Russell Wilson, he gave away the game at the end. He threw 2 interceptions just in overtime and gave away that game to the Arizona Cardinals.
There's one moment that is forever cemented in all of our eyes, and it's a meme. It's a hot meme on the internet right now. But you have to give DK Metcalf this crazy amount of credit, bro. Russell Wilson drops back in the red zone, throws a loft to the running back, and Buda Baker intercepts it. And you're thinking, this guy is gone, right?
And he was chugging.
No.
He was hustling.
No. Bro, he got chased down by DK Metcalf. He chased him from the end zone, and he got tackled at the 8-yard line, and Buda Baker could not believe it. And nobody in America could believe it. This guy's legs, he looked like a gazelle. It was incredible.
It was like a bad nightmare. You know, when you're running away from whoever's trying to kill you and you just can't run fast enough. Buda Baker was like this. And DK Metcalf was out there running like Forrest Gump. He looked like on that movie Click, like somebody pressed a fast forward button and just. I mean, this guy was like Alfalfa from the Little Rascals. Like, this guy was just on fire. A fire lit under his ass. I had to watch that replay about 10 times. Over and over. It was beautiful.
What a great
anyways,
game,
this game ended with Zane Gonzalez getting a second opportunity to kick a field goal after he missed his first one in overtime. Got his redemption and wins it for the Arizona Cardinals. Hand the Seahawks their first loss. The Arizona Cardinals win it over the Seahawks 37-34 in the most exciting matchup this week by far.
Hands down. All right, next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars flying over to the West Coast to play the LA Chargers. And, bro, this rookie quarterback just continues to light it up, man. How do you contain Justin Herbert, bro? How do you contain him?
This guy is lights out. I mean, he has changed the entire look of this Chargers offense. The same coaching staff from last year when they had Phillip Rivers, essentially same players, but you plug in Justin Herbert, and this is a totally new offense, completely renovated. And he's giving Joe Burrow, in my opinion, Joe Burrow, had the rookie of the year. It was for him to lose. And he's about to lose it to Justin Herbert because the way he's playing is lights out. Scores 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground, goes for 350, and this is just on a regular for Justin Herbert. He put up almost 40 fantasy points in your league. If he's not owned in your league, you better pick him up quick and start him over just about every quarterback except for the top 5.
I'm with it, bro. I mean, look at Keenan Allen, bro. He's getting 10 receptions, 125 yards, bro. But, I mean, enough about the Chargers, dude. I mean, the Jaguars can put up points, too, but their defense can't stop a nosebleed. I mean, they're over here. I mean, Gardner Minshew gets told before the beginning of the game, hey, you're on a short leash. We might bench you. And look what he does. He goes out and makes this a game. I mean, James Robinson comes out of nowhere and has the fantasy football game of his life. It's just not enough, man. The Jags look awful, bro. And they really have nowhere to go.
They need some serious help, man. They need some serious help. The difference between these two teams and their, going into this matchup, both only had 1 win each. Look like night and day. The Chargers, you see some hope there. The Jacksonville Jaguars, you're just kind of like, what did we put together? But anyways, in this unexpected high-flying game, Chargers take it over the Jags 39-29.
Yeah, bro. Next up, you're going to be happy about this, man. We got the San Francisco 49ers traveling all the way to New England to play What Is Going On New England Patriots. This is their 3rd straight. Ugh, bro. Ugh. You take it away, bro. Tell me how
by
happy
all
are you
means,
about
let me speak here. Also, because I know my brother watches these videos. And you might know that my brother is a huge Patriots fan. He originally was a Niners fan and left him for the Patriots. This bandwagoner, when he was, the Patriots were hot, and they got Tom Brady to win all these championships. He's like, I'm a Bill Belichick fan, always have been. Bro, I couldn't wait to hear what you had to say this past Sunday. I didn't get not one text. So let me know what you think. The 49ers, I mean, you can't tell me that this organization has it together. They have been injury-riddled all season and have still managed a way to win games. Once again, in this game, Jeff Wilson Jr. comes out and has a very explosive game and goes out with an injury. Like, they just can't stay healthy. Still missing multiple pieces on defense, and that defense still shuts down the Patriots. I mean, Cam Newton's job is at risk, potentially. And, that's hard to believe given how he started.
He got benched.
And who's to say he's not going to start next week or be benched next week? So, I mean, on the opposite side of the ball, Jimmy G didn't do us any favors either. Let's put that out there. But this defense came to play, and that's what we really needed to seal the deal. Niners win it over Patriots 33-6.
Awful. Next up, we got the game in the snow. In October, bro. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going up to Mile High Stadium to play the Denver Broncos. And, man, this was exciting on all parts except the Chiefs' offense. How many times are we going to say that, bro? Everybody on the Chiefs' offense they just took a back seat, bro.
That's right.
Because they let their defense and special teams go to work.
They did indeed. Harrison Butker was the star of this game. And really the snowy game was pretty fun to see, though. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing it in October is pretty freaking crazy. But I thought there was gonna be a lot more ground game. I thought Lev Bell in his first performance was gonna show up. And, him and Clyde Edwards had a handful of carries. And that's about it. Other than that, the Chiefs defense did all the work. Patrick Mahomes puts up like 13 points, which is, you flip the other way around normally. Normally it's the 3 before the 1, putting up over 30 points every single week. And but like you said, this is like unreal to see this kind of performance from the Chiefs. And you might see it again next week when they play against the New York Jets, another terrible team. So
terrible.
That's the thing about having such a great team. When you play terrible teams, all you got to do is hand off the ball, play some defense, and you're good to go.
You're right. Exactly.
Anyways, this game ends Chiefs way over the Broncos, 43-16. Who we got next?
Bro, this next game as a local was we had it circled on the schedule. We had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. We were so high after our performance, against the Chiefs. We go out there and the Raiders. What happened, bro? Just give me some insight, bro. what is going on, bro?
Man, Tampa Bay is the real deal. This is his second game this year, over 30 fantasy points. Goes for 5 touchdowns, 4 in the air, 1 through the ground, almost 400 yards, and this guy is a beast. And he's only going to get Antonio Brown in a couple weeks? Like, what?
He's not going to do much.
What?
He's not going to do much, Angel, okay? Don't worry, he's not going to do much.
Like you said, he's a big upgrade over Scotty Miller, and also they've been dealing with a lot of injuries at wide receiver, so at least he'll help fill in some holes. But Tom Brady's the real deal. As far as the Raiders, they were without their offensive line, as we mentioned before.
For the whole week.
How do you play without your offensive line? How many games are decided in the trenches that doesn't get talked about? And this is exactly what happens when you have no O-line. So,
you're right, bro.
Anyways, some fantasy takeaways from this game. I have Gronkowski being a double-digit tight end for most of the season. He may have a fluke here, but a
must start.
I feel like if you're struggling at tight end, he's available in a lot of waiver wires, and he is a great option to pick up and not just stream, but start him every single week. The chemistry with the new offense and everything is back. OJ Howard being out is definitely helping, and aside from that, the other takeaway from the other side of the ball that I feel like no one is talking about is Nelson Aguilar. Nelson,
yes.
Who? This guy's put up double-digit points over the last 3 weeks and capped off this week in PPR leagues with 21 points. This guy had 9 targets. That's the kind of numbers that you want to see out of a receiver. He had over 100 yards in the TD. I mean, he's very underrated and he's very unowned. So he's more than likely available for you to, by the time you're seeing this, all you gotta do is click add. You don't even gotta claim him and wait for waivers. So go pick him up right now.
Go get Aguilar.
Final score, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking like the real deal over the Raiders, 45-20. What we got next?
All right, bro. Next up, we got the Green Bay Packers traveling down to Houston to play the Houston Texans. And, bro, let me tell you, Aaron Rodgers loves to play in a dome. Okay? He loves so much to play in a dome that he loves it when his star wide receiver is healthy and he can just feed him the rock the whole game, bro. Davante Adams, take a bow.
We are not worthy. We are not worthy. This guy was lights out. Once a second performance of over 40 points this season. I mean, this guy is playing out of his mind. Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind. This whole Packers offense and team in general, although they didn't look like themselves about a week ago, they came back with a terror. And these Texans, I read some of the reports afterwards with J.J. Watt, Romeo Crennel, they are very, not only disappointed, but just speechless. They don't like the direction that this team is going, and they don't know what to do to fix it. Hopefully, after taking a bye next week, they can figure something out, sketch something up, because they cannot continue to take losses like this. They're already 1-6, and I'm sure Bill O'Brien is over there, like, yeah. Now you see, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I mean, what's crazy is that there's trade rumors out there. Will Fuller sounds like he could possibly be on the trade block.
Right.
J.J. Watt, I heard a rumor that he could be on the trade block. You expect more from a Texans team, especially with Aaron Jones going out of the game like 2 days before. How did that happen? They just plug in Jamal Williams, and it's like they hit the ground running. So, this Packers team is on a roll, and the Texans are doing the absolute opposite.
Hell yeah. And the fantasy advice for this one, this is a little bit different. Handcuff your damn running backs. Handcuff them before giving anybody an opportunity to pick them up, because as you can see with Aaron Jones completely out of nowhere, if you didn't already have Jamal Williams in your lineup, somebody went and snatched them up just like that and plugged them in for over a 20-point game. And it looks like Aaron Jones might be out again next week, so if you haven't picked him up yet, pick up Jamal Williams. And the Dylan hype train is pretty much out the door, man.
It's all hype.
It's all hype. It's all Jamal Williams and his little dance, and he's ready to go for next week. Anyways, this game ends Packers over Texans 35-20. Who we got?
Next up, we got the snooze fest of the week, bro.
Oh, tell me. I can't wait.
The Buffalo Bills going up to New York to play the winless Jets, bro. And I feel like Josh Allen is in his head, bro. If you can't throw or score a touchdown against the winless Jets, bro, who hypnotized him after week 4 and said, you're going to play like shit for the next 5 weeks? I don't understand.
Maybe he got overconfident. I don't know. I really don't know what to say. When you put up 0 touchdowns against the New York Jets, and for the beginning part of it, the Jets go up 10-0 over the Bills. And who's the Bills savior? T-Bass, the freaking field goal kicker, gets 6 field goals on the day to save the Buffalo Bills out of this game where they almost lost to the winless Jets. And on this note, bring out your hot sauce, because the coach for New York Jets is still employed by the New York Jets. So,
oh my God.
Don't worry, I'll pause. Go get a glass shot, get some Tabasco sauce, or the spiciest thing you can find, some Tapatio. I'll wait, don't worry.
Oh my God.
I can edit this out, don't worry, go ahead. Okay, I'm just kidding. But next week, you better own that shit, bro. Next week, come prepared with some hot sauce.
I'll have it ready.
You're like, do I really have to?
I'll have it ready.
Anyways,
I'll have it ready.
For some reason, somehow, Buffalo Bills 5-2 right now, over the Jets, 18-10. Who's next, baby?
Oh, bro, this was an exciting matchup in the NFC South. We had the Carolina Panthers going down to New Orleans to play Drew Brees and the Saints, bro. This was a high-scoring game, and I love to see Teddy Bridgewater perform, bro. But, man, there was one star that nobody thought was going to come through, man, for the Panthers, and he came to play, bro. Would you agree?
Did he give us more?
I see what you did there.
Oh, did he give us more? Dude, DJ Moore is back, man. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know where he's been at the beginning of the season, but him and Teddy Bridgewater feel like they have a connection. They've been good together for the past couple weeks now, and this is somebody that you can confidently start again going forward. And, this was a close game, came all the way down to the wire. No touchdown scored in the fourth quarter. It was tied all the way down to the very end, where Will Lutz kicks a 43-yard field goal to win this game. But on some more fantasy news, my disappointments of the week, we got Mike Davis, who gave his disappointing performance 2 weeks in a row. Through the first 3 games that he started with Christian McCaffrey out, he was the top 3 running backs for fantasy points during those 3 weeks. And in the last 2 weeks, he just goes and lays an egg, basically. They're like begging Christian McCaffrey to come back, but I hope I hope they don't rush him back, honestly. And then the other one is, this is not a disappointment, but just a surprise. Alvin Kamara, for the second week in a row, doesn't score a touchdown. But it doesn't matter, because this man catches so many balls out the backfield that he is always going to be fantasy relevant.
PPR, baby.
Just a small surprise. But other than that, the New Orleans Saints take this NFC South rivalry matchup 27-24 over the Panthers. Who we got next?
Bro, the battle of the undefeateds. This was the most talked about game all week. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling down to Tennessee to play the Titans. The battle of the unbeatens, bro. And it was a fireworks show, man. This was a very exciting matchup. Everybody thought it was going to be a defensive battle. It was more points scored than anybody had put any thought into. But, I mean, who looks better moving forward?
This was definitely an insane game. Both undefeated teams came to play, but the Steelers came in hot earlier, basically almost shutting out the Titans for the first half. And the Titans come storming back in the second half. It was just one drive after another, stopping the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and it looked like they were really going to make a comeback to win this game. Ryan Tannehill comes out with 202 touchdowns. Derrick Henry puts up a disappointing performance with 75 yards and a touchdown. But if you look at these two guys' numbers before the second half, they had like 10 yards.
Abysmal.
Like, it was pointless. But I would say the biggest fantasy star out of this game are the receivers. And A.J. Brown going up for 6 receptions, 153 yards and a touchdown. And Deontay Johnson with 9 receptions, 15 targets, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. This was an amazing game, crazy game to watch and see. You're rooting for the Titans to come back, but the Pittsburgh Steelers defense shuts them down to end the game. And then fantasy-wise, I think you made a good point when we were watching this game. What did you have to say about Deontay Johnson and Claypool?
I honestly believe, the number one receiver is going to get the fair share of the targets. And it really showed, because Deontay Johnson stole that spotlight from Claypool, who's been hot the past 2 weeks while Deontay Johnson was out. So, rule of thumb, whoever is the number one, if Deontay Johnson is in, he's probably going to get more snaps than Claypool. And, you're looking, you want upside with Claypool, but, I think Mike Tomlin still wants to wait another year before he unleashes the beast. But it still was a great game, man. I love watching it all the way to the end.
Do we have maybe a Juju trade next year? I don't know. Maybe this year. We'll see. They seem to be pretty good with Deontay and Juju. But anyways, Steelers stay undefeated. The only undefeated team left going 6-0 over the Titans, 27-24. But do not count the Titans out. They still looked amazing. Who we got next?
Yes. Next up, another surprising high-score game, the Battle of Ohio. We got the Cleveland Browns going to play Joe Burrow, number 1, Cincinnati Bengals, bro. And, I mean, the big headline of this game was that Odell Beckham Jr. gets the torn ACL, like we talked about in the beginning. But that did not stop the Browns from really taking advantage of National Tight End Awareness Week. And, bro, Baker Mayfield found all of his tight ends, bro. It was incredible.
Heck yeah, dude. That was a pretty crazy to see. Baker Mayfield puts up 5 touchdowns. I mean, when's the last time you heard him putting up 5 touchdowns? I think that at the end of the 2018 season, like 2 years ago. I can't recall the last time Baker Mayfield had a game like this.
Before he had all those commercial endorsements, bro. That was when.
And then on the other side of the ball, you have the person who I feel has the best opportunity right now to win Rookie of the Year. I think it's his to lose. Like we said earlier, Justin Herbert is riding his ass, but he puts up 400 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air, baby. And a rushing touchdown to start the game. I mean, these Cincinnati Bengals offense are out here slinging the ball. And I would say on a fantasy note, go pick up a wide receiver from the Bengals. All of them are trying to put up these points. You got the rookie in Higgins. You got Tyler Boyd, who went off on this game, going for 11 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Go find these players because Joe Burrow's throwing the ball pretty much more than any other quarterback in the league right now. And their game script is going to continue to put them in a situation where they're playing from behind. As far as the other side of the ball, I don't know how the Cleveland Browns, I don't know where to put them right now. It's hard to say with losing OBJ. Nick Chubb is still out, but they're still 5-2, and they put up 37 points with a big AFC North matchup and a win over the Bengals, 37-34. So look out. But who we got next, baby?
Yeah. Next up, we got the Detroit Lions against the Atlanta Falcons, and this game came down to the wire. But man, I do not want to be Todd Gurley this week, man. He did the biggest blunder, bro. You sound eager to talk about this, man.
I can't wait to talk about this. You talk about choking. You talk about letting teams come back and win. And the Atlanta Falcons they want to lose. They're trying to go for that number 1 pick next year, and they're trying their hardest to do it because they just continue to just give away games. So here's the scenario. Here's what happened. Atlanta Falcons are up. All they got to do is keep running out the clock the best that they can. They're within the 10-yard line, and the Lions have no more timeouts. So they game plan and say, let them score. Let them score so we have a chance to score. And what do? Todd Gurley gets the handoff, runs it, and right at the goal line realizes, oh my God, they're trying to let me score, and falls to the ground, but falls right on the goal line. Gives the opportunity to the Detroit Lions, who then come in, score a touchdown with the time clock expiring, throwing the ball to TJ Hawkinson, the tight end, for the victory. I mean, and I don't know if you heard this, but I just saw this today on Twitter where the Atlanta Falcons were mic'd up. The game plan in the huddle was do not score. Do not score.
I don't know. This is what the Atlanta Falcons have been doing all season long, bro. It is embarrassing. I mean they 3 weeks in a row with 99% chance to win, and they just can't do it. So
and a veteran running back at that.
Yeah, I mean he's done it before in the past where he stopped before and gone down before, and this was just karma coming back. And I feel bad for the Falcons, bro.
There's no other way to put it. Detroit Lions, I'm gonna say well-deserved victory because that was a great coaching call, and it actually pulled it off over the Falcons, 23-22.
All right. Last but not least, bro, we got the NFC least matchup Thursday Night Football. We got the New York Giants going up against Philadelphia Eagles, bro. And you gotta feel for Daniel Jones, man. He probably has the funniest play of the season, bro. Tell us what happened with Daniel Jones.
Oh, my goodness. So Daniel Jones running out there looking like Forrest Gump. Looks like Casper the Ghost here coming up with Halloween just goes yoink, and just it looked like somebody hit the Buffalo Wild Wings button. We need this game to continue. Like, he just trips over himself. And what does he have to say after the game? I was just running faster than I could run. I mean, life is like a box of chocolates, you know? Yeah. I mean, Daniel Jones is freaking hilarious, man. And so many people were ragging on him after that. And it's Thursday night, so you have plenty of time to talk shit about it until the Sunday
National
games
football.
pass.
National TV, bro. National TV.
But I'm not gonna lie. I can't run that
what
fast.
Is it gonna
He was fast, bro, on that run. I'm not going to lie.
What is it going to take, bro, for Carson Wentz to play a complete game of football? Bro, it really takes this guy being down in the second half, the fourth quarter, to really come alive and put the team on his back and throw it to receivers like Richard Rodgers and Todd Fulgham and Greg Ward Jr., bro. I mean, what is up with Carson Wentz?
Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I'm almost speechless. Like, this team in general needs to get it together. I mean, they're 2-4-1 now, and their team just looks. It's a team that should be performing better and is not. That's where the worrisome is. The New York Giants, this is what you expect out of them. The Eagles, you don't expect this. Now, they do have some downfalls with a lot of. They're very depleted, missing 8 starters in general. You know, their offensive line was pretty tore up. So, I mean, I can understand. But you got to play better. You got to play to win, not play not to lose, and not try at the very end. And at the end of the day, this Thursday night snooze fest ended with the Eagles over the Giants 22-21.
Right. Hey, man, that wraps up an exciting Week 7 matchup. Listen, we need you guys to go out there, like our videos, subscribe to our videos. Please share with your friends. We love the support. We love everything about what you guys have to offer. If you want to see something from us, please leave a comment. You know, let Angel know he can just jam your face in the video or get you a cool Holy Stagg hat, man.
Anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Stay safe out there. Enjoy another great week of football with Week 8 coming up. Peace.
Peace.
We'll be right back.